Good morning. Welcome to episode 8 of Wicked Recovery. According to my sobriety tracker, I have been sober for over 10 weeks. I believe it was 10 weeks yesterday. Yay! And if you watched last week's episode, which was technically only a few days ago, because I didn't record it until Thursday, I almost didn't make it to the 10-week point. I would be back to week 1. But I did make it. So I wanted to talk about that. And I wanted to talk about what tip really helped me last week. And the tip for this week is confess, or out yourself, or tell people. You do not have to tell people in a shameful way. You have nothing to be ashamed of. You just tell people, I don't drink anymore. I realized I was drinking too much, or I realized it was starting to be a problem, or it can be something like that. You do not have to shamefully sit people down and say, Mom, Dad, friends, I'm an alcoholic. You don't have to do that. Go for it if you want to. But that word, while it shouldn't make us always remember or think of somebody on the street drinking out of a paper bag, that sometimes seems to be the stigma. But out yourself. One thing I've learned, and I see lots of truth in, is that the anonymous part of being an alcoholic, including Alcoholic Anonymous, while the anonymous is supposed to be a help, it can be a hindrance, because this is such a shame flavored disease. It's so still looked at as a flaw in your moral character, or you have no self-control, or the list goes on. The stigma is quite negative. So as you are being upfront and honest about it, you're taking away that anonymity. Don't you always feel like Finding Nemo? But anyway, don't stay anonymous. Don't stay anonymous with your family or your friends. Be upfront and let them know, I'm not drinking anymore. And if you see me near a drink, call me out. Because as long as you keep it secret, people are going to offer things to you. And I think, for me at least, when I wasn't telling people, it's because I wanted people to offer it to me. I would stay secret. Maybe I would go a good 2 weeks, but then the minute somebody would buy me some wine or offer me a drink or whatever, that was permission. That was okay. And then there I go again on a bender that would last weeks, months, years. I had plenty of opportunities over the last 10 days when I was back home with the death of my mother and being surrounded by family members. Some of them drink a shit ton. And, in my head, I think one of my uncles is definitely an alcoholic, but I didn't bring that up to him. That's his thing. But boy, when I was at his house, the booze, it was a-pouring. And the minute I walked into my parents' house after my long drive, knowing my mother was only 5 hours dead at that point, first thing people did was let me know, oh, that's not orange juice over there, that's mimosa. Go ahead. Like I said last week, I had every excuse. If I wanted an excuse, I had every excuse to to drink last week. I very quickly, I didn't make an announcement again. I didn't tell everybody, wait a minute guys, stop, don't offer me. But you know what, if I had done that, go me. I just said thank you, and they didn't hand me a glass. If they had handed me a glass, I would have put it down and walked away, or poured it out in a non-rude way. And then I ended up telling, I think I told everybody. I think everybody, just about everybody there, at some point, I worked it into the conversation that I haven't had a grown-up drink in over 2 months now. I was realizing I was probably enjoying it way too much. That's how I said it. And every single family member I told it to said, that's really good. That is really good. It's good to get a handle on that if you realize there's a problem. So that's my disjointed tip for today. Out yourself, confess, be upfront, do it quickly. That way, when you are confronted, there might be someone nearby who will know, so you're accountable. You're less likely to drink in front of somebody when you've just told them, I don't drink anymore, or I'm trying not to drink, I think it's a problem. And then you're a whole lot less likely to be like, yeah, I'll have a double scotch on the rocks or whatever. I've never had that. Also, obviously, people would be a lot less likely to put a beer in your hand, or to keep offering you stuff, or to keep putting it right in your face. So I may have already shared this tip, but you know what? If I did, then I'm sharing it again. It's that important. Admit it. Confess. Let's see. So my recommendations for this week as far as resources. I didn't read any new books since Thursday. And by read, I mean listen to Audible, which is completely untrue. I did actually listen to a whole book with Poochie, but that was a little kid's fictional book. There's no guidance in there, believe it or not. I'm just going to, once again, let you know about podcasts. There are recovery podcasts. My favorite one is Recovery Elevator. That was the inspiration for this channel and this weekly update. So Recovery Elevator. There's a lot of other ones. I found a new one today. I haven't even finished listening to the first episode, so I won't recommend it yet. But by next week, maybe I can recommend it. Because knowing me, by next week I'll have listened to about 10 of them. And is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for all your support and your kind words. I'm doing okay. And I'm thankful. Have a good week, and I hope I see you again this time next week. Bye, guys.